I'm just going to conclude with this topic about how Biden might diffuse the age issue. My premise for this is that the truth about the matter favors Biden when it comes to who's in shape to serve as president from 2025, the beginning of 2025 to the beginning of 2029. Between these two kind of old men. By the way, I think 4 months older than Trump, but we're born the same year. It's funny that my year has given us so many presidents, but I'm not very proud of it all. Clinton was the best of the bunch, but he let us down. There is that issue of who is in better shape, and I believe that the truth is that Biden is actually in better shape. Despite his being older, born in 43, is it? 42? Trump born in 46. And despite the fact that, troublingly, Trump radiates a certain more animal strength than Biden. When I see Biden move, I wish that he had a way of moving that made you feel like he could box out under the boards and get a rebound. It doesn't look that way to me. But that's where he's at. And even though we want our heroes and our presidents to have that kind of physicality, that's not really what we need in a president. FDR did have that physicality in a way, even though he was in a wheelchair. There was a robustness about Roosevelt. It wasn't age that killed him, I don't think. I've got a friend who's worked with the medical history in the Navy, and he believes it was cancer that killed FDR, and that the stroke that he suffered down in Georgia. But anyway, he was a very sick man when he got reelected the fourth time. But he was in a wheelchair from the early 20s into his presidency, and he was a man with great upper body strength. But the presidency isn't about, being able to lift, bench press, however many pounds. It requires other things, and I think, though I'm a little concerned about how Biden's been thinking about how to handle Netanyahu. I don't quite understand the choices he's made. I don't know what the advice is he gets. There may be things I don't see that are important to take into account. But anyway, for the most part, I think he does a really good job of running an administration. And that's what you want in a president. So I think that if that Trump is cognitively and physically a less favorable picture would emerge as the truth. And Trump doesn't release the truth. This time he's got somebody who's attached to his golf course in West, whatever that Minster thing is in New Jersey. It's a little bit better than Ronnie Jackson and that other doctor back in New York. These ridiculous things that get put out. But this one doesn't say he's going to live for 500 years. And it doesn't say he's the most healthy person ever to occupy the presidency. What about Teddy Roosevelt in his 40s? It's not ridiculous, but it's also not to be trusted. Has no real information. So if I were Biden, and if my premise is true that he'll win a contest of true medical reporting, or at least tie, even if he ties, that would be helpful because the age issue cuts against Biden more than it does Trump, the polls indicate. I would issue a challenge, very public challenge, a real laying out the gauntlet, the kind of slap across the face, the kind of thing that you see guys doing, uh, you know, calling somebody out in the street for a gunfight or whatever the deal is, a challenge of honor or whatever, a duel. I, Joe Biden, challenge you, Donald Trump, to go with me to one of the most prestigious medical facilities in the country. You can choose. It can be Johns Hopkins. It can be the Cleveland Clinic. It could be the Mayo Clinic. The best that we got. Authorizing them to check us over from top to bottom, physical, cognitive, and give a report that tells the American people exactly what the findings are that are relevant to our ability to fulfill our responsibilities as president for the next 4 years. And we agree that these reports will be made public automatically right away. That's my idea. I think it's a win-win for Biden. First of all, my guess is that Trump would refuse the challenge, just like he won't testify. He's got this, facts are kryptonite to him. He wants to have control over the whole truth, and he'll paint false pictures at will. A true picture of him? No, I don't think so. Even if he thinks he would win, I'm not sure if he would consent. But if he refuses it, it's a win for Biden. This guy's got something to hide. I make my thing public, but he won't. Now, why do you suppose that is? And here are some evidence that suggests that, I may be a few years older, but I'm a better bet than he. And he knows it. Okay. Or he accepts the challenge. And that's where my premise comes in, because if Biden's going to submit to such a thing, he ought not do that politically if the report's going to be sort of disqualifying. But I don't think it would be, and that's why the premise. If he accepts it, and it's right that he's at least in as good shape as Trump, that helps to diffuse it if it's equal, because maybe it would equalize the impact of the age issue on the electorate. And if he comes out better, even better. If Trump does accept it, and if the report says, this guy's got some age-related declines that he cannot really pass a basic test to indicate that he's thinking straight, I don't know if that's what it would show. I mean, he often seems off the wall and stupid, and he often seems devilishly clever. And I've never been able to figure out how he's able to put together those things. But some agreed upon battery of tests. I mean, that might be part of the challenge. These are the tests that I challenge you to undertake, and I will undertake them too, and we'll make the results public. So that's my idea about how Biden can take this age issue head on and make it a winner for himself, or at least diffuse it.